AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
News. And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
LSU baseball got a win.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not pretty.
Hump day.
But a win is a win is a win is a win is a win.
It's hump day.
Unless if it's a midweek win.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Then it kind of like counts as a half a win.
Hump day.
A third of a win.
It's hump day.
A quarter of a win.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
But a win.
Hump day.
Dalton Wasserman in 15 minutes.
It's hump day.
Talk some NFL draft.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Dylan Jones.
Hump day.
Wisconsin transfer.
It's hump day.
Running back.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Been telling you about him.
Hump day.
Lane Kiffin agreed.
It's hump day.
What does it mean?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not sure yet.
Hump day.
Talk about it
It's hump day.
in an hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Muse, look at your rundown.
Hump day.
All right, I'm looking.
Look at
It's
5.
hump day.
Look at 5 p.m.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I see it, 5 p.m.
Hump day.
What do you see?
Says Kiffin on evaluation.
Kiffin.
It's hump day.
Misspelled Kiffin.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's an
Kiffin.
Kiffin. It's an amusing typo.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He should change his name to Kiffin.
Hump day.
I think people would like him more if his name was Lane Kiffin.
It's hump day.
It's possible, for sure. Yeah.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
How do you hate a guy named Kiffin?
That's the point.
Hump day.
And did you just step on your own drop?
It's hump day.
That just happened.
Did it?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You were starting to talk and then you hit the drop.
Hump day.
You stepped on your own drop.
I probably tried to time it and I didn't time it well there.
Look at Molly.
I didn't even notice. Good ear.
Molly. He stepped on his own drop.
It's hump day.
He most definitely did.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
To be fair, Paul would have agreed with you regardless of if I did that or
But in
not.
this case, it actually
No, yeah, but I mean,
happened.
it just,
I
regardless.
want you to go pull that.
Okay, I'll go pull it.
Hump day.
How is that possible? You have the button.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Right, I was probably trying to time it right in between you
Again.
ending and yeah.
You have the button.
Well, I know, and I clicked it early trying to time it, and I didn't time it right. That's what I'm saying. You asked how. That's how.
But you were talking.
I think what happened is I clicked it and I started talking too soon.
Aaron Torres in hour 3.
It's hump day.
Big fan of the show.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, so LSU beats Northwestern State 4-2 out at the box. This was... LSU scored 4 runs in this game. All of the runs came on 2 homers. Braden Simpson hit a solo homer. Jake Brown did the honors as LSU was down 2-1. He hit this mash.
2. Brown hits one deep. Right center field. This ball is carrying way out of here. Tucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. Number 16 for Jake Brown.
The great Lynn Rollins on the call. By the way, Braden Simpson's home run was freaking annihilated. Hit it like 420 to dead center. Muse's favorite number in the world. I mean, a 420 homer for Muse, baseball guy. Tell me, Muse, that you don't love that. A homer to dead center that goes 420.
It was 425, but yeah, I mean,
420.
Launch him.
Nailed it. So there was good and there was bad. The bad is LSU hit 8 times in this game. They got the leadoff man on 6 times. 6 times they got the leadoff man on. They scored in 2 innings. Whew. That's the not good. The really good is your pitching allowed 2 runs to a good baseball team. Northwestern State's in the Southland, like we've talked about. It is there's a talent disparity, but still that's a very good baseball team, just like Bethune-Cookman a week ago. By the way, if you didn't see, Bethune-Cookman beat Florida last night. After beating LSU, they went on the road to Gainesville and beat Florida. They're a good team. They're not as talented as a lot of the teams that they're going to face in the SEC, but they're a good team. But LSU's pitching allowed just 2 runs on 5 hits, only allowed 2 walks, did not hit a batter. It's a Christmas miracle. And it's amazing what can happen when you throw strikes, you don't walk or hit batters, you make them swing to get on base, and good things happen. And that's what happened in this ball game. Jay Johnson afterwards, when it was asked about the pitching, and naturally felt pretty good about the way that they threw the ball.
I'm really proud of the pitching. This is the best pitch game we've had in a while, in a long time. I couldn't even remember. Probably Case-In against Oklahoma is probably the last time we had a game that was pitched as well as this game was pitched. To Kentucky, we shut out Kentucky, Schmidt and Zach.
I think Zach Cowan, who got the start in this ball game, he allowed a solo homer, but gave you 2 innings, struck out 2, didn't walk anybody. I think what was interesting is to start Cowan and to bring in Sheeran really in a tough spot because Garcia got into a pickle in the 8th, and Sheeran came in and got the pop-up, which, my God, John Pearson almost dropped it. He caught it anyway. And then Sheeran struck out the side in the 9th and was awesome and overpowering. But I think what it went to show you is Jay Johnson needed this team to taste something good. I mean, Sheeran pitched on Sunday. To throw on Sunday and then to come back on Tuesday on 1 day's rest and to throw an inning in 2/3. It was only 25 pitches, and it could have been a bullpen day. But the bottom line is they needed something good. They needed to feel good. Like at this point, you with half of the conference play to go, you got to get your team believing good things can happen and they can win games. And so that's what they did in this ball game. By the way, here was Jay on the decision to start Zach Cowan.
I think we're just at a place where this is like who you're going to go to when you have to and we have to. And Zach is probably the best pitcher on the staff just in terms of performance over the last 5 or 6 weeks. You know what you're going to get, more importantly than anything else. I've talked about him a lot, and he deserves to be talked about a lot. So I wanted to get off to a good start.
I thought Cowan was good. Really nice bounce back for Fontenot as well. Remember, Fontenot only recorded 1 out in his start on Sunday. He gave you 2 innings. He did not allow a base hit, didn't allow a base runner. Struck out 3 of the 6 hitters he faced. That was great to see because it's in there for Fontenot. It's just a matter of corralling it. we've talked about it before. It's why Fontenot is going to be someone's going to draft him in the top 10 rounds and give him a shot to go play pro ball because the guy throws 99 and it's in there. It's just, can you harness it consistently? If he can, he could be a factor for this team in the second half of conference play. Ricken got into a little bit of an issue, but Benj was awesome coming out of the bullpen. You went to Williams in a lefty-lefty matchup and got you the out you needed, got a strikeout. Paz was really good. You went to Theophilus, who faced one hitter, walked him, and then you went to Garcia, who walked a guy, struck out a guy, threw a wild pitch. I mean, and that's when Williams came in, or Sheeran came in a bit of a bind, and he got the pop-up, got out of the inning, struck out the side in the ninth, and got you home. So Tigers, the Tigers finished it off, which was great to see. And now you get ready for this weekend with A&M coming in. One more from Jay. Muse, can we get the update on Cooper Moore? So, again, this is the exciting thing. It's exciting. I mean, you need Cooper Moore, whatever you're going to be. You need your number 2 starter to be there for you. Here was the update on Cooper Moore.
Well, he threw today. Good report with the throwing today on the mound, so that's good. Now, it's more about how he probably feels the next 2 days, so we'll see. I mean, I hope he can contribute. You know, he threw strikes. He's got multiple pitches. He's a confident guy, but it probably has more to do with what's coming the next couple of days because it was an aggressive or 100% throwing, session, bullpen today.
Awesome.
So he's on track, but we'll know more the next couple of days.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Again, whatever Cooper Moore can give you, if it's an inning, if it's a batter, if he can give you anything this weekend against A&M, you'll take it because it's a very good offensive team. We'll talk much more about A&M here in the next couple days. We get toward Friday's opener out at the box. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with a great taste of Bud Light. Remember, every day this week, we're giving away a Bud Light prize pack. It's the Purple, Gold, and Cold giveaway. All you have to do is text Drink Easy to our show text line here at the station. Remember, a lot of you have been texting my personal text line. This is the station text line, 225-499-1045, 499-1045, 225-499-1045. Text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045. We pick a winner every day this week. We'll announce it at the start of hour number 3. You get a case of the Bud Light aluminum bottles. You get the Bud Light LSU baseball jersey, which is fire if you haven't seen it yet. The National Championship koozie, some ESPN swag as well. Text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045. Drink Easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. All right, we'll knock out a quick break, talk some NFL draft with Dalton Wasserman next. Don't you move, it's AFR.
AFR.
RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com. Yes, it's robotic and repetitive, but we've been talking about Rev for so long, and now we got a new website, so I need you to remember the new website, which is RevFiber.com, R-E-V, RevFiber.com. Rev is Louisiana's largest locally owned broadband provider, and they are now announcing Rev Fiber as its flagship product brand. So Rev Fiber, it's now the banner. It's all the residential fiber internet services. This reinforces Rev's fiber-first expansion across Louisiana. And Rev Fiber for Business aligns Rev with business customers that are looking for next-generation cutting-edge connectivity options. Let me boil this down. You want better connectivity at your place of business? You want to save money? You want Rev Fiber. Go to RevFiber.com, R-E-V, RevFiber.com.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
8 days to the NFL draft. My goodness. Self-admitted draft nerd here. I'm the guy that'll sit there with a draft guide and watch all 3 days, 7 rounds, because I think pick 217, who could be a depth piece from your practice squad that's, signed from the practice squad in November to give you depth is interesting to me. I know that's not to everyone, but it is to me. It is to me, so back off. Anyway, Dalton Wasserman, new affiliation. You can catch him on the Preferred Walk-On, a college football show, Preferred Walk-On CFB show with Max Chadwick. You can check that out on YouTube, podcast apps. Dalton, appreciate the time, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Just counting down the days till the draft, right? You get sick of all the speculation and the anticipation. We just want to get to it.
What do you think is the storyline leading into this draft that is maybe the most tired or the most missed right now?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think when you really look at this story that's been, this lack of blue chip talent, I think it's just that it leans on one side of the ball, and that's the defensive side, right? I mean, there's been so much speculation, even as high as second overall. Is it going to be an Arvell Reese or a David Bailey? Where should Ruben Bain go with the short arms? Where should Caleb Downs go as a safety? And safeties don't usually go that high, right? I think you just have to look at this draft for what it is, especially on that side of the ball. If you think a guy is talented enough to be worthy of a top 5 to 8 pick, just go ahead and do it, because, look, everybody's going to have their flaws in this class, especially near the top. That might be more the case this year than some others.
So, Dalton, it seems as though, I'm glad you mentioned Ruben Bain and the T-Rex arms, because he is kind of the guy that's he's the betting favorite right now to go 8 to New Orleans. If you would give me your flyover scout evaluation of Bain.
I think he's well worth a top 10 pick if the Saints were to take him 8th overall. I wouldn't blame him one bit. He's super talented. I know he's got the short arms, but it wasn't just this past year that he was dominant. He was dominant for all 3 of his seasons down at Miami. And you talk about a versatile player who is a very well-taught pass rusher. I think you could argue he and his teammate Akeem Mesidor, the most well-taught defensive ends in this class, with Jason Taylor as Miami's defensive line coach. So their technique is outstanding. The hand usage is outstanding. Despite, again, having the shorter arms, he finds ways around it with his technique, and that's really the difference. When you have a physical flaw like that, you just have to play with better, more consistent technique, and he was Miami's cheat code in the run game, man. I think that's not being said enough. I think you could easily argue among all the edge defenders that he's the best run defender, and he's a true 3-down player. So, if you're somebody who's looking for, ideal length and all of that, and you lean on those traits, you might lean away from it, but he's a great football player. I think every bit worthy of a top 10 pick.
Dalton, we talked, I think people here maybe are very familiar with this conversation. A year ago, this was the conversation about Will Campbell, right? I mean, he's a dominant college football player, short arms, should he have been a top offensive tackle prospect? He had a great first half of the season with New England, was injured, struggled some of the second half. He'll get healthy, and we'll see how he looks, but he's awesome. We know that. Do you have a defensive comp for Bain, a guy maybe with shorter arms in the NFL who you think can make it?
I've seen Brandon Graham thrown around there. His arms aren't quite as short as Bain's were, but he's won in a lot of the same ways, right? He's not maybe he won't be the guy that ever leads the league in sacks, but Brandon Graham, and I believe it's still going. I think he re-upped with Philadelphia one more year. He's had such a great career for a long time because he was such a good 3-down player. He played with power. He played with lower body strength. He was one of the best run defenders in the NFL for a long time and is still a pretty competent one at that. And yeah, maybe that only means 8 to 10 sacks a year, but what he gives you in every down impact, despite that lack of length, it really matters for your team. And you saw it on a couple of teams that won the Super Bowl, that for that Philadelphia team, Brandon Graham was such a valuable piece for a long time. That's a name that jumps out to me.
Dalton Wasserman is our guest, preferred walk-on college football show. Go subscribe there on YouTube if you haven't done so yet, at CFB_Dalton, if you want to give him a follow. If it's not Bain, what do you think the Saints should do at 8?
I really lean in on the wide receivers. I mean, they might even have an opportunity to take the very first wide receiver off the board, depending on the couple of teams in front of them, the Giants, the Browns, the Commanders. But you really got to find some depth beyond Chris Olave. So I think it's something they could attack at 8th overall with somebody like a Carnell Tate or a Mekhi Lemon, maybe even Jordan Tyson if they feel good about the medicals. But they're definitely going to attack it at some point in this draft. They just don't have enough premier options outside of Chris Olave in that receiver room. And if you're trying to make life easier for Tyler Shuck, you've done that in the run game, signing David Edwards on the O-line, Travis Etienne in the backfield. Now you need one more weapon to take the pressure off of Olave and really give Shuck multiple options out there. I think wide receiver is going to be a big focus.
I want to ask you about the receiver position in this draft, Dalton, because this is so the convo we've had here a bunch is, okay, let's say the Saints have effectively 2 options, right? They go an elite-level defensive player at 8 and maybe get a receiver in round 2, or do they do exactly what you just said? Is it Tate? Is it Tyson? Is it the best receiver in the draft at 8? Let's say, hypothetically, they go best defensive player at 8. If it's Bain, if it's maybe someone like Mansour Delane from LSU potentially. Early round 2, what receiver is there a game-breaking receiver there early round 2 that you think could be available for New Orleans that would be an interesting value?
There's certainly a lot of intriguing guys, right? I mean, you talk about on the high end of it, there's intriguing names like a KC Concepcion. We'll see, where he gets to. There's a lot of differing opinions on him. Some think he's top 3. Some think he's more of an early second-round pick. He's somebody who could add a level of dynamism to their offense when you talk about having the ball in his hands and making plays after the catch. But in that mid-round 2 range also, I think you look at Jeremy Bernard from Alabama who can do a lot of different things. I really like Elijah Surratt from Indiana, who seems like he's going to be more of a second-round type player, but a big-bodied receiver, back shoulders throws outside the numbers that Tyler Shuck loves to throw, and a guy who can he's proven during his college career he can beat man-to-man coverage. So anybody who can win those one-on-one matchups, if you're looking for physical upside, it might be somebody more like a Chris Bell, big 220-pound frame, but he's coming off a torn ACL. So there's a lot of good options when you talk about round 2 and 3, because I think, we might not have a Jamar Chase, Calvin Johnson type of receiver at the top of this draft, but there's a lot of depth and some good role players all the way probably through round 4.
Bell was Tyler Shuck's college teammate. He's got a ton of conversation here about possibly landing with New Orleans. Shuck's pushing hard for that. A couple more for you, Dalton. Let me dig in a little deeper there. As you rattle off a lot of names at receiver, which kind of speaks to where the value is in this draft as far as maybe positional value. Where in this draft, Dalton, as far as round, do you think is the value proposition for NFL teams? Meaning this doesn't necessarily seem like a super top-heavy draft with all the quarterbacks, but where do you think teams are going to find the most value picking?
I think probably on day 2, probably especially picks between, say, 40 and 80. I think there's a lot of similarly talented players there, and you're really scouting for what you need for your football team, right? I think you have some really good players at the top of round 1 in the first 14 or 15, and then the back end of round 1 to me gets difficult because from 15 to about 75, I think, again, we have a lot of similarly talented players. I think the teams that can really in the mid to late second round and then into the third round, the teams that can find starting caliber players in that range, and I think there's a good amount of them. I don't know there's a lot of superstars, but I think there's a good amount of starters in that, again, 40 to 75 or 80 type range. I think the teams that win that area of this draft are really going to have a good long-term future with it.
We've talked a bunch about LSU guys going into this draft, Dalton. Delane is going to be the first Tiger off the board. Anybody else among these LSU players that really interests you as far as maybe some value in this draft?
The next guy, and I think he's going to go in the second round, would be his teammate in the secondary, A.J. Halsey. I have him as the 4th best safety. I think the top 4 safeties, when you look at Downs, Dylan Thieneman, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, and then Halsey, I think those 4 guys are a cut above all the rest of the safeties in this class. I'd expect him to be a top 50 pick, definitely somebody I'd be on the lookout for to be a day 1 starter. And then, you get to some of the intriguing guys later on who have a lot of athletic potential, right? Talk about Harold Perkins and Patrick Payton, guys with potential who maybe had some struggles the last couple of years, but Delane and Halsey are the 2 that really stand above the rest for me.
He's Dalton Wasserman at CFB_Dalton. If you want to give him a follow, the preferred walk-on college football show, make sure you sub over at YouTube. What a great time to go subscribe to it as well with the draft here right around the bend. By the way, who did you have? I'm looking at the video that you streamed yesterday. Who did you have with the Saints taken at 8?
I think I went with Caleb Downs. I was making the even number picks, and it was actually one of the harder picks because a couple of the really elite guys like Jeremiah Smith and Leonard Moore were off the board, and then they just weren't a team that needed a quarterback when we were getting all that run of them off early. But I went with Caleb Downs. I think he can change anybody's secondary. He's my number 1 player on the board for the 2026 class, so I went with him in their secondary. And to be honest with you, that could be a realistic pick in this year's draft. It wouldn't shock me at all.
It'd be interesting to see if Downs is there at 8 if the Saints have a decision to make. Dalton Wasserman, always appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you as always.
Man, be well. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Supper Club. Get your reservations now at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Got clients in town? Take them to Supper Club. Celebrating a birthday? Supper Club. Anniversary? Supper Club. Got a promotion? Supper Club. Graduation coming out? Supper Club. Why would you go anywhere else? It's Supper Club. Supperclubbtr.com is where you can go to get your reservations. Supperclubbtr.com. At Supper Club, It's all about the dining experience, both the food you eat, which is going to be otherworldly, but also the experience itself. And one of the things I love that they do at Supper Club, I give this example often, but a lot of times you go to a fine dining restaurant, you sit down, and there's white tablecloth, and there's 7 different types of breads and 14 different types of cheese or butters, and you're like, what do I do? There's 8 knives and 14 forks. I don't know what to do. Now, I love that, but for a lot of people, that could be intimidating. And that's okay. So what they did at Supper Club was they wanted to, everything was intentional. Like, they do not have white tablecloths. They're beautiful, but they're wood tables. So you don't have to worry about, are you spilling something and getting a stain on the tablecloth. When you walk in, they bring you fries as your sort of like appetizer that they bring to set on the table instead of bread with all the different butters and cheeses. Like, everything is thought of there at Supper Club. The dining experience is unmatched. So get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. I popped in just a couple of weeks ago, had to get a gift card for a buddy. And while I was there, I saw 2 different people that were there celebrating anniversaries that were listeners of the show. They were there because they heard about it and celebrating wedding anniversaries. One, it was a couple celebrating their anniversary. Another was a gentleman listening to the show. It was his in-laws' anniversary. So it was he, his wife, and his wife's parents celebrating their anniversary. A great place to celebrate anything. It's Supper Club. Right there in Perkins, near Bluebonnet, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Last week, we plumb forgot to call Taylor Calandro. I mean, Muse and I we're standing outside the studio on Thursday, and I was like, hey, Muse, totally forgot to call Taylor last week.
Yeah, we did. And we just blew right through it.
And the week before, during the show, he was like, hey, man, we called him, and he was like, there was a disaster, an employee thing, something or other, and he had to cancel. So today, I messaged Taylor. I'm like, hey, man, totally forgot you last week. Sorry about that. Good to go today? He's like, yeah, good to go. We're set. All good. And then we're about to walk in. He texts me. He's like, I got the kids today. I'm sorry, man. So, eventually we'll get back to having Taylor on the show.
There's always next week.
We've had a good 6-year run with Taylor. That started during COVID when wasn't nobody doing nothing but sitting around drinking. So we're like, let's do a booze segment. And so we had Taylor on. We've had him on for 6 years, and it's been great. But we have had like a 3-week run now. We have just missed each other. So we'll try to do it next week. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll not get a break. We'll go around the SEC next. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you ever go to Disney, it is their mission to make sure that every child has the greatest experience ever. This isn't a commercial for Disney. I'll get to the point. Like, every park worker is taught, like, if you see a child and they spill their ice cream cone or something like that, a park worker has to go get them one and replace it immediately. Like, you are not allowed to have a bad experience. Darren James has used that philosophy as he's built his real estate industry and real estate business. And when you think of it in those terms, if this person is so intently committed on making sure that his clients have the best experience possible, how can you possibly fail? Well, that's why Darren James is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. You need to sell your home? You need Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Help find a life-saving bone marrow donor. Match for Team Kate, an 11-year-old St. Jude patient who urgently needs a transplant. Kate has a serious TP53 mutation, and doctors say finding a bone marrow donor match as soon as possible gives her the best chance of survival. Donor drives will be held on LSU's campus Thursday, April 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the parade grounds and the quad. If you're between the ages of 18 and 35, you can join the National Donor Registry with a quick cheek swab. And on Thursday, the 23rd, all of our stations will broadcast their full lineup of shows live from the LSU parade grounds in support of Team Kate. If you can't make it to campus or out of the age range, you can also register online through the Team Kate link at 1045ESPN.com and have a free swab kit mailed directly to you.
All right, we're going to go to around the SEC here in just a quick second. Thanks for that, Muse. We got connected with Kate and her family through former LSU pitcher Lewis Coleman, who Kate is from South Mississippi, and of course, many may know that Lewis is from there, and their families are friends. And Lewis made me aware of this months ago, and it's kind of an amazing. I literally have goosebumps just sitting here thinking about this. Like if you could see me in studio. And listen, if you've been through anything with your child, and I hope you never do, but unfortunately, it's a reality for many, many people, and a lot of people know our family story, and so maybe because of that, this story really touched me. But Kate's 11 years old; she needs a bone marrow transplant, and it's almost incredible to think they had swab events at Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and like they've had literally thousands of people swabbed, and they've not been able to find this girl a match. And she needs a bone marrow donor to save her life. And so whenever we were aware of this, I was like, we're in, and we're going to do everything we can to shout out of the loudest megaphone as much as we can to get as many people swabbed to find Kate's match. And it would be so amazing if next week we're able to find her match. So if you are able, please, please, please participate. And if you're not, please, please, please help us spread the word to anyone who might be able to participate. So all the info is on 1045ESPN.com. We have it at LouisianaSports.net. Also, it's on all of our social media. You can find all the info there. It's a cheek swab. It's just it's a cheek swab to see. And if you can, so come out to LSU. We'll be broadcasting all of our stations: 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, Eagle 98.1, 100.7 The Tiger, Talk 107.3 FM. All of us are broadcasting all day long next Thursday from the Quad at LSU to raise awareness for this, to encourage everyone to come out and get swabbed, and let's find Kate's match. Then you get that's Thursday the 23rd. So a week from tomorrow. So get all the info online, and if you can't make it there, again, as Muse said, you can register online, and they'll send you a free swab kit. So and like the return post is included. They make it so easy. Like let's do this, man. Let's find this girl her match, and let's get her a donor, and let's save this 11-year-old girl's life. I mean, what an incredible gift that any of us can give to help save someone's life. So especially a child. So it would be awesome. We're excited about next week. Okay. It's after further review from the massively relevant and significant to the comparatively mundane. Joel Glazer, who's the owner of the Bucs, said that he'll gladly pay whatever it takes to keep Baker Mayfield beyond the 2026 season. I found this really interesting. He said, look, he's gone above and beyond anything we could have asked for or hoped for. Everybody loves him. He performs. He gives 250% when he's on the field. That's all you can ask for. What's interesting, so Baker turned 31 yesterday. So on April 14th. So Tuesday, he turned 31 years old. 8 NFL seasons, 4 teams. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's played 51 games in Tampa. In those 51 games, he's 27-24. Pretty good. Won a couple of division titles. But I look and go, is Baker really good, or is he just winning in a bad division? And when you look at the market value, so Spotrac does the thing where they put up a market value, comparative analysis, all that stuff. The market value for Baker, what would you think a 4-year deal for Baker Mayfield? He's 31 years old. What would a 4-year deal for Baker Mayfield cost? What do you think?
Oh, Lord.
I didn't prep you on this at all. Just 4 years. What do you think?
31 years old?
Yep.
This is quarterback, though. I'd still say north of 180.
Okay, 180. Paulie, what would you think? Not a bad guess, but
125.
How about an average annual value of $53.6 million, which comes out to a 4-year, $214.4 million contract, which would be 5th in the NFL. You making Baker Mayfield the 5th highest paid quarterback in the NFL?
I'm not, no.
Right?
No, there's no chance.
They comp him to Dak, Goff, Cousins, and Stafford, which tells you, Stafford won a Super Bowl. Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Dak's won a ton of games, not had playoff success. Cousins, he's just continued to cash giant checks, and congrats to him on that. But, what it shows you is, well, we all know, but it's illustrative of the premium for quarterbacks, what it costs when you actually hit on one, even if it's not one that's the best ones in the league. I mean, we're not talking about Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, even Burrow, who's been to a Super Bowl. We're talking about Baker Mayfield, who was a castaway. He was a cast-aside. He was on the scrap heap. I mean, he literally goes to the Rams a couple of years ago in the middle of the week and starts a game. Incredible. I think it's worth watching because Tampa Bay might be tethering themselves to a good, not great quarterback in a bad division. And when you look at the division, you have Baker, who's a veteran guy and has won some. And on the other side, it's Shuck and Bryce Young and Michael Penix, who have not won anything. Now, I know the Panthers won the division this year as a 500 football team. But, you could see the giant disparity. Baker's a veteran guy, but maybe a lower ceiling. The other three have young guys, maybe with much higher ceilings, but certainly lower floors. Just interesting. And couple all that with what we just saw with Seattle. I mean, nobody's going to look at Sam Darnold and go, yep, MVP. Best quarterback in the league, pay him like it. But he's a Super Bowl champion. What's the goal? The goal is to win. And if you have the right roster built around the right player, you can win. It's going to be fascinating to watch what happens there with Baker in this contract. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. They do shutters too. Oh, and shades. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Remember, at Relief Windows, they will never, ever take money from you until the job's done and you're thrilled. I don't know there's many companies in the United States of America like that won't take a dollar from you. No down payment. They won't take it. They don't want a deposit. They will not take your money until they're done and you're thrilled. They take all the risk up front. There's just nobody better. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, shutters, and shades. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Texas Longhorns.
Arch Manning has not been a full participant in spring so far. Steve Sarkisian said that was the plan. But apparently Arch is trending in the right direction. Manning, if Texas were to play a game today, said he would play. Quote, I feel 100% right now, Manning told On3. We're taking it slow, but if we had a game today, I would play.
The Florida Gators.
Alex Condon is returning to Florida for his senior season. That was a Shams bomb. Oh, man. You can't really hear it. It's on the same pot. Can you turn that one? Oh, you can't turn it down. You have to turn it off. Okay. Condon is the number 30 prospect in the ESPN Top 100. It'll be a projected first-rounder next year.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vandy's hired ex-Texas coach Rodney Terry as an assistant. What you doing, Terry? Back it up, Terry! Terry's got 13 years of head coaching experience, but I just wanted to use the back it up Terry joke.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has landed former Georgia guard Jeremiah Wilkinson. Not nearly as funny as the back it up Terry joke. The number 32 player in the portal, the fifth best combo guard. Averaged 17 points per game leading the Bulldogs this past year.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Georgia has added alum Jonas Hayes as an assistant coach. Played at Georgia. Remember him from 01 to 04. Was later an assistant under Mark Fox. His brother Jarvis Hayes joined the Georgia staff last week. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. ED treatment, hormone replacement therapy, peptide therapies. Learn more. Feel your best. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. It's After Further Review. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next.
After Further Review.
So I was chatting with Miss Teresa earlier this week over at Clegg's. And man, it is an awesome time to get by because we're fully transitioned now into spring. And my goodness, they have tons of flowers and bedding plants in stock. It's flower mania right now at Clegg's. They've got, yesterday, the quad color hibiscus arrived. It's a unique blend. It's 4 different bloom colors all in the same pot. You want to talk about something beautiful next to the pool? They've got new shipments of knockout roses and drift roses that have just arrived. They're easy to grow, and there's like this nonstop explosion of blooms in your landscape. It is awesome to have. It's not too late to plant your vegetable garden. They've got Johnny Naylor seeds. Y'all just plant something. The weather's beautiful. The time is now. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Coming up after Sports Center in about a dozen minutes from right now, I want to talk about one of the guys that I and many think has been really one of the surprise stars through 10 LSU spring football practices. And Lane Kiffin agreed yesterday. We're going to talk about him in about a dozen minutes from right now. I also think it's fascinating right now, this whole paradigm in college athletics, and this isn't new, but where you're seeing these veteran coaches leave college sports. And we could look at the coaches like Nick Saban and others who have looked at NIL transfer portal and said, this isn't for me, I'm done. And I think some others, Tony Vitello, looked at it and said, this is pro sports, why don't I just go coach in the pros? And so those opportunities, I think, are going to continue to be there. Ryan Day told a story a couple of weeks ago about talking to some folks at Ohio State's Pro Day where NFL people are asking, like, why are you coaching college? You're certifiably insane to coach college. Because it's basically the NFL without the structure of the NFL, of a CBA and all that sort of stuff, which makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so I think naturally there's going to be a lot of questions about premier coaches in college that might have NFL opportunities. Marcus Freeman is one of them, and there was a lot of chatter this offseason about Freeman potentially making the leap to the NFL. There were reports about the Giants. Freeman was on Bussin' with the Boys and talked about the NFL opportunities that he's had.
I don't want to give a cliche answer, but I believe this strongly. Like, with team success comes individual opportunities. And so I hope conversations like this continue to happen because that means our team is doing really, really good. I don't know. I've never coached the NFL. I was in the NFL for 1 year. I use an opportunity to figure out, like, what is being a head coach in the NFL entail? What's the differences? How do you work with GMs and the salary cap and all these different things? It was good for me to learn, but I finished the statements like, I'm as happy at this place with these group of young people, this coaching staff, this support I have in this year. Like, this is special.
There's something to be said for the grass isn't always greener. Talk about cliches, how Marcus Freeman led his answer. So I don't want to give a cliche answer, but he then gave a cliche answer about if they're talking about me, it's because the team's having success, which is true. But it's also, there's a lot, nobody's talking about Kurt Cignetti going to the NFL. Like, there's got to be some connective tissue that makes sense. But Freeman also talked a little bit deeper about what he likes about coaching in college.
You get to impact their lives. Like, and that's what I love about coaching 18 to 22-year-olds. Like, you can pour in and impact 120 guys or 105 guys. And that's why, not just the starters, not just the ones that play. And I love that. That's my why, right? Why you go to work every day is to try to impact these young people. And so I'm happy, man.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's the difference between being relational and transactional, something that we've talked about a lot with Lane Kiffin. And I think in this era of college football, being relational like Marcus Freeman, which I believe that's genuine, by the way. I don't think he's lying. I believe him. I also think that's never mattered less. Where, and I don't mean to be pessimistic here, but we've just seen it so much where there's just going to be guys who you could be the great fit, the right people, the best relationship, all that. If someone comes up and makes a multiple offer on top of what you're offering, they're going to go where the money is. It's not everybody, but that's a lot of bodies now. So it does alter the way you approach building a roster. I just think it's a really interesting time for college coaches that could potentially, in all sports, that could make the jump to the next level. All right, SportsCenter, hour 2 next.
After further review.
Hey, if you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Or go to williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson, his staff, they're just the best. I love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center every single time I have the opportunity. And a lot of people over the years have probably been told, maybe this is you, this was me for a lot of years, was told, yeah, you're not a candidate for LASIK. First of all, what I would tell you is, if an optometrist told you that, okay, go see an ophthalmologist. An ophthalmologist is an eye surgeon. I was told for years I wasn't a great candidate for LASIK. And the thought was, my prescription changed, or maybe there was like these little minute things. But the shape of my eye, I was a perfect candidate for LASIK. And so the thing that I tell you is what many of you have probably heard or said. I wish I had LASIK a decade before I did. But I'm grateful for the last 8 years to have been able to see so perfect. And I'll never go back. WilliamsonEye.com.